The leaking oil well in the Gulf remains to be sealed permanently. What BP is doing today that could reveal more details about what happened. And wastewater ended up where it shouldn't have. What High Point City officials are doing to stop this from happening again.
It was just a loud noise and he's screaming, and then a bus pulls up. People start getting off the bus, and I'm just kind of yelling, "Don't move," because it's all cobblestone, and all I can think is brick for brick is going to fall. And then the bus driver got off the bus and called 911.
The sidewalk that just opened up. These stories and more on the way.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 8th day of August. Coming up this hour, what's on the president's agenda for the economy?
Plus a sandstorm in quite an unusual place. First, though, let's check in with Emily for a look at today's forecast.
Oh, it's going to be a warm day. Those clouds are creeping in, though. We have a few showers just now approaching the North Carolina-Tennessee line. It's going to take a while to get here, though. 92 is your forecast high, and we do have a 20% chance of showers later today.
Hundreds of thousands of gallons of wastewater dumped into a future Piedmont Triad water source. The sewer break happened near High Point's East Side wastewater plant. More than 300,000 gallons of wastewater spilled into the Deep River. It leads directly into the new Randleman Reservoir. Fox 8's Charles Ewing shows us what the city, though, is doing to protect the lake.
Piedmont homes and businesses will soon begin taking water from the Randleman Regional Reservoir. Upstream in High Point, crews have been working to keep untreated water out of the lake.
It's very strange. We don't know exactly why we had a shear break.
A pipe that carries untreated wastewater to High Point's East Side wastewater treatment plant snapped Thursday morning. The sewage flowed out of the ground, down to a pond, and then into Randleman Lake. City workers and contractors began the repairs when they found the leak around 9 in the morning.
We then repaired the shear break. I brought it back up online about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and discovered another damaged spot, so we repaired that. And then about 5 o'clock, we brought the system online.
Since Thursday, the city has been keeping a close eye on the pipeline.
During the weekend, we had crews come in and inspect. We left the pipe uncovered and inspect the repairs to make sure they were holding.
Also, the state's Division of Water Quality has been checking on the repairs and the lake.
What we've done was we met with the state, and then we did upstream and downstream samples to make sure we're checking for DO and pH, and we're doing that every day this week.
Tests are coming back clean. That's good news for High Point.
Well, I did have the state out here Friday. They looked at it. They liked the way we were doing the repairs. They liked the way we calculated the flow numbers.
And the good report is great news for the wildlife that live at the lake.
Well, so far, no reports of any fish kills. The state will monitor the lake and decide whether or not they will fine High Point for the spill.
A crime alert now from Jamestown, where thieves have hit a half-dozen homes in a week, targeting mostly 3 Jamestown neighborhoods: Aquila Cove, Jamesford Meadows, and the Peninsula. The break-ins are happening when no one's home. Homeowners say they return and find the windows pried open and their jewelry gone. Even a sign warning intruders of an alarm doesn't seem to matter. Many of these homeowners say they didn't have their alarm set, and police told them burglars might have been watching their homes, waiting for the right moment.
And the fact that when your garage door is open that maybe somebody's watching you pack your car to leave for a night or a week is just scary. You feel tense all the time.
Some neighbors say they plan to start watching out for one another from now on, and they'll also make sure to set their alarms.
Danville, Virginia police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. According to the News and Record, it happened on Monument Street. Police say it started after a woman flagged down an officer to let him know that 2 men were fighting in front of a home. That officer radioed back for backup. Then the 2 officers showed up to the scene to break up the fight. Well, one of the men pulled out a gun and exchanged gunfire with officers. Roderick Valentine was shot and killed. The other man and 1 officer were taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
The attorney for the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system now suspended with pay. Drew Davis is accused of telling a principal to not report a possible criminal allegation. School superintendent says the incident involved allegations of a teacher taking indecent liberties with a student. Under the law, all criminal allegations like this are supposed to be reported to law enforcement. The SBI is investigating, and the school board is doing its own internal investigation.
Little Kate Thornton will be laid to rest today. The 5-year-old lost her battle with leukemia Sunday morning. A public viewing is scheduled to start about right now. Funeral services will follow then at 10 a.m. They will be at Immaculate Heart of Mary on Skeet Club and Johnson Street in High Point. A private burial will be held afterwards.
Military officials at Fort Bragg now investigating whether toxic drywall could have contributed to the deaths of several infants. Gabriel Duke died in March. He was only a month and a half old. Gabriel's parents say he developed a serious cough just days after he came home from the hospital. A few weeks later, an Army investigator told the Duke family there was Chinese-made drywall in their home. They needed to move out immediately. The entire family experienced symptoms like those associated with exposure to toxic gases.
Things like coughing, wheezing, difficulty breathing, nosebleeds, things like that. And if exposures persist for a sufficiently long time at sufficient concentrations, these materials can cause stroke, coma, can cause death.
Military officials say they're still investigating the case. However, the builder says he never used imported items. The Army is studying why at least 10 infants died at Fort Bragg over the past 4 years.
The discussion is tabled for now, but North Carolina could be getting a high-speed railway. Raleigh City Council members have until Friday to make a decision on whether a passenger train will be a different way to get around town. Some homeowners are protesting the idea, saying a train route will dramatically lower their property values. If approved, though, the route will be part of a $2 billion plan to build a route from Raleigh to Richmond, Virginia.
President Obama planning to announce 3 different proposals to boost the American economy. One includes a $50 billion infrastructure investment. He also plans to expand research and develop tax credits for companies, along with some new tax breaks for businesses. Overall, he says companies could save up to $200 billion over the next 2 years if the measures make it through Congress. Well, the White House says that President Obama will observe the September 11th attacks at the Pentagon. Last year, he spoke at the remembrance ceremony there. First Lady Michelle Obama will join former First Lady Laura Bush in Pennsylvania, and Vice President Joe Biden will be at ceremonies in New York.
BP is expected to release new findings today about an internal investigation into the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. The report comes nearly 5 months after April 20th's explosion. 11 men were killed on the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, and millions of barrels of oil continue to spill into the Gulf in the following months. Fisheries and beach resorts all along the coast have suffered tremendously since the spill. No word on what BP's report will show, but the company has temporarily capped that well, and operations are underway to seal it permanently.
Well, some visitors got kind of an up-close look, and they got the feel of a powerful sandstorm in Michigan. They were checking out the Sleeping Bear sand dunes when a powerful 50-mile-per-hour wind stirred up. Next thing you know, visitors say they were pretty much covered in sand, head to toe. Now, the national park stayed open during the storm, but they say they paid close attention to the conditions. Don't think about a sandstorm in Michigan.
No, you don't. How interesting. Well, take a look outside on radar. We do have some showers that are trying to make their way over the North Carolina mountains.
Wednesday morning traffic, I do have a couple of incidents to tell you about, both of them in Greensboro. On Lee Street, just north of Interstate 40, watch for some delays there. And on westbound Interstate 40, there between the Urban Loop and Gallimore Dairy Road, we've also got the report of a wreck there, causing a little bit of a slowdown in the traffic as onlookers check to see what's going on there. We'll have another traffic report coming up as conditions warrant.
A new Center for the Arts opening in Winston-Salem this weekend. We'll tell you more about what you can expect to see there in the coming days. And the fight against diabetes could start with something sour. Why medical experts say nothing can beat the power of citrus.
And coming up, learn how to make some tasty dishes with vegetables.